All right, welcome to your world. My name is Olive Burrow, sitting in for one Winnie Lubembe. And this morning, this is the question we're asking: is there hope after infidelity? So we will have our phone lines open. You can tweet me. My Twitter handle is at @oburrows at NTV Kenya, but we'll have the number on your screens. It is 0719038343. 0719038343, but we'll have it up on the screen shortly. With me in studio, ladies first, Triza and Triza Kainika. Good morning.
Hi, good morning.
Good How are you? Studio.
Thank you.
And like her being, so she's a psychologist, but she's also the CEO All Smiles Therapy Center, and just like all smiles, she's all smiles. She's all smiles this morning. We also have Maury Fixton.
Yes.
Maury Fixton and Juru. I will call him Juru for the purposes of tongue, not having my tongue tied. Yeah. But do you mind me asking the origin of the name, Maury Fixton?
Even me, I asked the origin of the name, and I was told that it's a Philippine name.
Yes. Oh, okay. Yes. I've learned something today. Thank you for that. And he is also a psychologist.
Yes.
All right. So we're asking: is there hope? After infidelity? But first, maybe tell us, Triza, for those who may not be familiar, what does a psychologist do?
Oh, great. A psychologist, ours is as simple as your feelings, your behavior, and your thoughts. Just those three things. So we are in to walk the journey of emotional, just like we have doctors for our physical health. What we say is, you get to know when emotionally you are bleeding. When you have some pain, you'll go maybe to a chemist and buy some painkillers. What do you do when you are emotionally drained? So exactly that's what you do. So we definitely walk the journey with people. We create awareness in like what we're doing today. Is there hope after infidelity? Yes.
All right. So your Juru?
Yes.
I'm going to call it Maurice. Is that okay?
Yes.
All right. So Maurice, you agree with how Triza has described your role?
Absolutely. What I can say is that, just as you have said, we look at those three components: your thought, your feelings, your emotions, and behavior. And we work with you. To us, we say we don't work with patient, we work with client. So believing that the people we are working with are the bearer of the solution. We don't just come to bring a solution, but to work collaboratively with them so that we resolve any psychological, emotional difficulties that they are having. Yes.
So as a psychologist, thoughts, feelings, behavior. Do people come to you after infidelity?
Oh yes, many times. Many times they definitely come, and time they'll come just one person. So that time we don't treat it as a couple therapy, and other times they'll come both of them. There is a cheating in it. So that's where we began, you know, because I mean, they presented themselves and you need to walk the journey with them because they've come, there is a disruption. So what we look at is there is infidelity. Okay, then why are you here? How do you want we take it up? Yes.
All right. So how, I mean, out of every 10 people you see, Maurice,
yes.
How many come to you on account of infidelity? Just to get a sense of how prevalent it is.
From 1 to 10, give it 3 to 4. Yes.
3 to 4, which is a significant number.
Yes, quite a significant number.
Okay.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit how you work. Say an individual comes to you and they have, or let's just start from the question we're asking this morning. Is there hope, Triza, after infidelity, or is it a depends type answer?
Well, there is hope after infidelity. Why? Because how are we, or what is the hope that we are defining? You know, even a time when people agree it's separation and divorce, each on their way, it's still hope because there is life after that. So if you're referring to this as life after, definitely there is life after. However, we can just come and we say, yes, you can go out there and you cheat, because there is hope. You know, it's not something to hold on. So that's something we always let the clients and anyone who is watching us this morning to get to know. So even before we go to hope, if there is or no. Let's just start with what is this infidelity. And you know, when you talk about infidelity, cheating is in so many ways. You know, people will go out there, they'll have, you know, what we call extramarital affairs, their partners out there. Others can just be emotional infidelity. Yes, you are with someone, but emotionally they are disconnected.
So the levels of infidelity?
Yes.
Or types of infidelity?
Yes. So they're very different, but what we say is cheating is cheating. So even before we go to hope, let's start with the elephant in the house.
What is infidelity?
It's cheating, and cheating can be in so many ways. Some people will have some multiple or just one sexual partner out there. Others, it's all about being emotionally disconnected with your spouse. So yes, I'm here with you, but I'm busy thinking about Olive that have never met, but I watch her on TV, you know. So that's still infidelity, because you're already in a way that you are dysfunctional. You are not taking, you let the gap be filled by someone else and not your partner. Also, we have infidelity nowadays. We're in the era of social media and online and all that. Someone is busy, you know, they are just chatting and doing all these things with other people, but seated next to their partner, it's still infidelity. So it's always good to define.
Really?
Oh, yes. Yes.
I'm not sure I'm convinced, Maurice.
Yes, what CEO is saying is true, that we have the levels of infidelity, and she have touched very ably on emotional infidelity. Because every time there is infidelity, the question should be, what is the underlying causes? But even before we come there, we have emotional infidelity, we have even financial infidelity, we have cyber sex infidelity. Those are like what you may call the levels of infidelity. And now the bigger one that people may want to talk about is the physical contact, or now the sexual infidelity. But as Teresa have said ably, is that emotional infidelity, according to statistics, shows that is the most distressing one.
Which one?
Emotional infidelity.
Is the most distressing one?
Yes, because you can imagine when someone is with you and is not with you. You know, that is more distressing. It's better you go out, or you either be here and be with me. And they say emotional infidelity is more distressing, that sexual infidelity is more upsetting. Actually, they say emotional infidelity is more distressing and sexual infidelity is more upsetting. And they say distressing is more pervasive or long-term, more than the sexual one. Meaning, why? Because you can imagine when you are with someone in the house, and you see there is no that, again, open communication. There is no that playfulness that is around there. You know, the person is there, either the wife or the husband, but they are not there. So it is true. And emotional infidelity is more distressing, and is more destabilizing and traumatizing, for that matter.
But I mean, if you have been married, I'm just arguing for, you know, if you've been married for a number of years, sasa mnaambiana.
There is a lot of things, yeah, and it's not just about the lengthy or how long you've been married. It's all about the commitment. How committed are you to your partner? Because each and every day, we have different days, like they are not the same days all through. And one thing, Oliver, I'd like to make clear today is that cheating is very much intentional. Someone decides to wake up and go out there and cheat, and there is no any...
Even emotionally?
Yes.
Yes.
Cheating is cheating. Whichever form of infidelity. Yes. Now, in this case, we want to
But how do you, what is the distinction between feeling disconnected from somebody and emotionally cheating on them?
It's your reaction after being disconnected. Are you aware that you're already disconnected? Do you effectively communicate to your partner how you are feeling about it? What do you do after you realize that emotionally you are disconnected from this person? Do you get to just discuss and ask each other what could be the reason of disconnection, or how you can work on it, and what is amiss or something that is happening? Do you get to do that? It's the reaction after that. Yes, so when you share, then it becomes a shared problem. It's not a one-man show, neither a one-man task that it's you to work with your emotional disconnections. It's for both of us. Let's get to know where is there some boundaries that we've put or that we've just neglected. Is there anything that we can do? Is it that I'm spending so much time at work that I am not there for you? How can we make it more better? You see, communication is actually what we say is with effective communication, we'll have saved like 90% of today's divorce and separation cases. Effective communication is one key area. So yes, it's there because the moment you don't talk it out, you do not share with your partner, it leaves a gap, and that brings in a third party. In this case, and a third party, can even be too much on TV time that your partner feels you've taken away their time. That's what again we call object infidelity. It's also good for people to get to know. For people, it's football, at least it's going longer. Object infidelity.
So people, somebody can cheat on you with football.
Yes, because they do not want to be, to watch and all that. They're actually running away from something. So if you're the person who goes out for social connections, but your main intention is not just to go and meet up with friends, it's to run away. If you are what we term quote unquote workaholic people, they're the first people to get to work, the last people to leave, and they're leaving because it's time to leave, like they need to close the doors, but they're running away from something. Anytime you find yourself, you are working towards running away, delaying getting home, or getting home early because your partner is not there, get to know you are actually in the line of what you're discussing today.
Absolutely.
I'm just shaking my head. I mean, does avoidance equal infidelity?
Yeah, you see, yes, because it is leading toward the projection of infidelity. What we are saying that, you see, people come together to meet each other's need. And one that need is the need of connection. And as Teresa have said, you find there are people who are escaping from connecting. Because when you connect, then in that connection is when now you are allowing each other to be able to feel, to feel each other, to be able to communicate. And so if then you take an object and you make this object, there is an example that is given of someone who looked for a wife to marry and he didn't find one. Then he went, he cut a tree and he captured a woman and he said, this will be my woman. Because apparently he didn't find someone who is attracted enough to her level or to his level, that matter. So you see, that was an object. And you see, people has a way of escaping from connecting. As you're saying, you don't want now to communicate. You don't want to talk issues over, because another component is constant argument and conflicts can also lead to that projection. So you find people then are not wanting to resolve their issues, so they go to the object, they go to football. Then what happened? Your partner start feeling not cared for. He start feeling neglected. He start feeling not wanted. He start feeling, oh, the football is more important than I do. So, and they start having these compounded minds and thought and everything. At the end of the day, they have also to look somewhere else they can find their fun. Yeah, so when she's saying about that object infidelity, yes, because that is where it all starts.
But, okay, so how we have stages of grief. You say it's all in the reaction, right? So do we have stages of, we've talked about types of infidelity, right? So do we have stages of infidelity, how you feel, the feelings, so you've talked about the thoughts, feelings and behavior, when you're feeling your partner is not entirely there with you.
Yes. We can't really talk about stages of infidelity because cheating is cheating. Even if it has just taken place, let's say for just one day, a week, it's something that has been there for a couple of years. Cheating is cheating. And let's not validate cheating by it was only one day. It was a one-night event. They met with this person at their workplace. And so it was accidental. No, nothing is accidental. Because, yes, nothing like accidental when it comes to cheating. It's one person who intentionally,
consciously,
and consciously decides this is the time I will go out there and I cheat. And that's why when we talk about infidelity, is one painful journey. It brings along betrayal. You've talked about stages of grief. Infidelity brings along loss and grief. There is loss. And when we talk about is there hope after infidelity, what we tell people is you've come and you've brought in your marriage as a shell. So tell us what you want we put in. Do you want we just go and we crash it? Do you want we throw it away? Do you want we start rebuilding? So one thing, the hope we are talking about is not continuation. Life can never be the same again after infidelity. That one thing that people need to get to know. Infidelity, we can never be here and we want to normalize what is abnormal, because infidelity is not normal. And when you are in a marriage relationship, unless, because, and when you talk about infidelity, it's also good to be cognizant that for some religion, it's okay to marry even a second, a third, a fourth wife. But what were the goals of you people coming together into a marriage institution? Did you both define that I'm okay and I'm open to having another, you know, like having another wife, another husband into the marriage? That time, that's not infidelity. It's the purpose of this marriage. But in a scenario where one of the goals was, we are here to, you know, it's just two people coming to be one, to live a life. Anything that comes in between, definitely it's not acceptable.
All right, so we have James on the line. James, you have a question or a comment?
A comment.
Go ahead, we can hear you.
Thank you very much, Olive, and you are fellow journalists, any panelists.
Thank you.
And I just want to commend the two panelists. They are doing a very good job talking on infidelity. But I would like to broaden the topic further by saying that we need to look at the family of origin issues. Because when somebody is getting married to somebody, he brings a lot of baggage from his family of origin. And some of those issues that are causing infidelity are primarily from the family of origin. Maybe like the trust issues, a lot of expectations. When we are coming to marriage, we expect a lot, and then we do not look at them critically. And of course, we have a lot of ignorance as far as picking up partners is concerned. That is when you are married when you are very young. So I would like the two panelists to expand more on. They are talking about the emotional infidelity. It is there. Financial infidelity. It is there. The sexual infidelity. It is there. But all these people who are doing that are trying to meet a certain need. These are needs that are not met. So whoever is trying to maybe to have another partner, maybe to go to the internet, to go to do something, they are meeting certain needs which are not there. So I would like even to recommend comprehensive premarital counseling before marriage. Comprehensive premarital counseling before marriage, especially in our churches, because something which is not there. And that counseling should be done by professional counselors, not just quacks, professional counselors, not just somebody who has done one unit in counseling and thinks that he can handle people's issues. So I quite commend the two psychologists. I'm also a psychologist.
Okay.
Marriage and family therapy from the Muru.
All right.
Yeah. James Kagwema Mbogwa. People know me well as Kagwema. James Kagwema Mbogwa.
Thank you very much for that contribution, James. Thank you for calling in.
Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day.
You too, James. Have a good day. All right. So he says we've talked a lot about the types of infidelity. We haven't really addressed the causes of infidelity. So he says maybe needs are not met. Expectations are different depending on the family of origin. He says baggage. People come into relationships with baggage. Perhaps people were not adequately prepared. Premarital counseling. What do you make of his contribution? Sorry, I did I cut you short?
No.
Oh,
it's okay.
So Morris?
Yes, that was a very good pointer from James, because he's looking it from the background of the person. We usually say it is good to understand the organism in its environment, because you don't see a person as just an entity. He comes with an environment. So as the person is getting to marriage, what is he carrying? Who is he coming with? What kind of environment? An environment is both psychological, emotional, and even financial. What environment is he coming with? So you find someone come into a relationship, and maybe he grew with our father, or he grew with an authoritarian father. He grew with abuse. And so he learned from a very young age not to trust other people, because trusting is, when you trust, you get injured. When you trust, something bad happened. So they are coming with the scars. So when this person come into marriage and there is no mediation has been done in terms of premarital counseling, he will carry the same thing. You know, our boss Teresa says this, that traumatized people traumatize others. So someone gets into a relationship and they have an issue with trust. So even when you want to come close to them, they're asking, what is the catch? What is the catch here? So they start having a dance. You loved someone, you want to be close to someone, but somehow they can't get close to you. And they don't know what is it. They love you, but they hurt you. And they don't know how to go about this. These are the things now that need to be taken to counseling, as James has rightly said, so that you resolve them. Because if you don't resolve them, they will again be transferred into a relationship that may cause now the underlying causes of infidelity. You know, you have your wife, you have your husband, but you seem not to connect. There are things you are carrying. There are things you have not shared, you know. And to us, we see them in counseling very vividly. And we can understand. You find somebody who has been abused, for example, take a young girl who has been abused sexually. If that one is not responded to, if it is not mediated, it can have an impact into that relationship. And they may end up having what we call self-damaging beliefs and behaviors. You know, every time they come close to you, they hurt you. And so you end up not connecting. You end up not meeting each other's need. And then someone starts finding another way out. Yeah.
It's a popular saying, hurt people, hurt people.
Exactly.
Just responding, your response, Teresa, to what James has said.
He's very much right. What we say is, at time, infidelity may just be a symptom. You know, that is having family that are, you know, breaking up may just be a symptom of maybe more deeper underlying issues. And so even when it comes, we really want to know, are we really dealing with a symptom or the real issues? Because if we don't, it's just like what we say. A baby has fever, and when you start giving painkillers, you're not getting maybe to test and get to know, is it pneumonia or what exactly are you dealing with? Because what that means is, after painkiller is over, again, fever, you know, temperatures will still rise again. So the same happens, because when you come in and you want to deal with infidelity as what has been presented and not dig deeper to get to know how have we gotten here. So just like what James has said, we do not call it a two-people affair. We deal directly with the person who has cheated or who now has, you know, gone out of the marriage institution in whichever way, be it emotional, be it the physical, or whichever way it is. So with that, we want to know the triggers. We want to know how they found themselves there. He has talked about the family of origin. Most of the time we talk about childhood traumas get to manifest in our today's lives, even in our marriages. Look at something like attachment style. We have different attachment styles. Those who have come from very secure attachment style, even when they're in marriage, they're still having that, you know, security, and they don't feel like anytime when I'm not seeing my partner or when I do not know what they're doing, they're already cheating on me. Are you seeing? It's coming from the time they were kids, because the right attachment style, no one was there to introduce the right or to attach with them the way they should be. So some people, they grow up, they adapt like, let's say, avoidance. We have it. We have anxious attachment style. When we are anxious is each and every time, if I'm not with you, then you are with someone. And definitely, yeah, this person is with someone because they are with colleagues at work. They are in business. They are in meeting. They are in a setup like this. But doesn't mean that they are cheating on you. So some people will be projecting the unprocessed childhood traumas into their marriages. Some people is all about identity crisis. And we talk about when it's teenage, we say we have identity phase. Everyone goes through teenage phase. Identity phase means if it's well dealt with, then there is no crisis. But when it has not been dealt with, crisis comes, and it's seen in marriages.
All right. So we have two callers. We have Isaac, and sorry, we have Richard, and we have Isaac. We'll start with you, Richard. Richard, yako ni swali au ni comment?
Ni comment.
Go ahead.
My comment is, I would like them to explain why people get married. I think there's a mistake why people get married, and why do they get married? And I think some people get married for the wrong reasons. They get married for maybe security, or to be married, you know. And the other thing is, after people stay for so long when they are single, I think there's some addictive of clan days and things like that. I think this counseling should be based on that. Like, there are people who, you've been single for like 30 years, you become a free spirit. Now, at what time do you decide to settle? And maybe you become addictive to clan days, where cheating becomes a normal lifestyle.
All right. Thanks for that. Richard, let's hear from Isaac now.
Good morning, madam.
Morning, Isaac. You can go ahead.
Yeah, mine is to congratulate what the program you have brought. That is very okay. I admire the gentleman and the lady who are presenting it. My very particular thing to them is one. Yeah, my particular issue to them is one.
All right, go ahead.
Yeah, I would wish that these two gentlemen lady to tell us the kind of cluster people, the group of people are normally affected, the age group.
Age group
normally falls between mature people or very early in marriage. Two, I'd wish maybe to request that these guys, if they're able to visit churches. Yeah, to visit churches and educate people about these issues is very important, because that is where they can get the masses. Their message is very important. It's very good to enhance the families. It's only that if they can get the groups, the social groups like the churches, so that they can educate and tell people about these issues in infidelity, because otherwise we are losing the society. Yes, kindly. Thank you so much. I'm very happy and I'm very proud about that gentleman and the lady.
All right, thank you for that, Isaac. So we do need to take a break, but on the other side, you will respond to what has been raised by Isaac and Richard. Do stay tuned. You're watching Your World.
People come to me and they say they get discomfort when they have ice cream. Can you imagine that? Avoiding having cold ice cream. Sensodyne gives you long-lasting protections against sensitivity. And people come in and they're like, oh, it works. I can have ice cream and I'm not in any discomfort. I recommend Sensodyne because it works. It's brilliant.
This week we asked the question, is agriculture on the continent on track? And how can it be made to work for Africa?
Africa, for example, the population is really growing. The farmers in Africa are aging, the traditional farmers, and we really need to get more youth into agriculture.
The basis of all progress is innovation. Technologies have transformed agriculture all around the world. Productivity of crops, mechanization that makes it more productive and also cost less, and also you have, chemical protectives that actually protect plants from pests and diseases.
Win a 3-bedroom house in Nanyuki sitting on a quarter-acre or a 30K weekly shopping voucher, or a monthly plot. For every 100K you spend buying or paying for your plot, you earn 1 entry to the draw. The more you invest, the more entries you get. Bamba Nyumba na AMG.
So fresh, fresh, fresh. Fresh all day.
always fresh. Nivea Fresh Deo. Now with new InfiniFresh technology. Antibacterial power with 48-hour protection and long-lasting freshness. Nivea Fresh Deo. Feel fresh in every moment. Try new Nivea Fresh Sensation Deo. Our freshest fragrance with 72-hour antiperspirant protection.
Jina lako nani?
Naitwa Emboko.
Wewe weka pesa zako wapi?
Tutoke hapa.
Kenya Deposit Insurance Corporation lina jukumu la kulinda pesa zako kwenye benki.
Good morning. Welcome back to Your World. The question we're asking this morning is there hope after cheating? We have Enoch on the line. Enoch, you're calling us from Migori? All right, can go ahead. Enoch, if you don't mind, you could turn down the volume on your television set so that we hear you clearer. Enoch, we're struggling to hear you a little bit because of the sound of your TV. Okay, you can go ahead now. Unaweza zungumza na Kiswahili.
Sasa nilikuwa na msichana.
Endelea Enoch.
Nilikuwa nafanya kazi Kisumu, sasa alikuwa anafanya na Migori. Sasa vile alienda Migori, I decided to go and visit that girl. So after that, nilipata changes mingi. Sasa vile tulikuwa tunaongeanga kitambo, kuna different.
Alright, Enoch, just talk, unaweza reduce sauti ya TV, alafu utuambie tu ukiendelea.
Sasa, unanipata?
Nakupata Enoch.
Sasa, huyu msichana alichange all of a sudden. Na tena alikuwa na watu zake.
Alright, Enoch, kidogo tunapata shida ya kukupata, lakini I don't know whether you've gotten the gist of what he's trying to say, right? Okay, so Enoch, asante kwa kupiga simu. I was like, is it kuongea mfululizo? Jackson, ni kuongea mfululizo. I was like, ongea ukiendelea. But just a lot of people seem interested in this subject of infidelity. Yeah. They say they've asked. So we had the call from Richard, and is he the one who asked why do people get married? We had the call from Isaac, who says, you know, what age groups does this primarily affect? Is it the younger guys, the more mature? And he said you need to visit churches. And Enoch telling us, speaking from experience, he was living in Kisumu, I think he said, or is it the girlfriend was living in Kisumu, and he was basically distance. Okay. You know, is that a contributory factor? We'll start with you, Teresa.
Yeah, it is. When you're not there, you need to have some plan, get to know, because one of us need to go and work outside. So how are we going to ensure that we are still emotionally connected? Remember, we talked about feelings, thoughts, and your actions, yeah? So it's all about, for this behavior, to ensure nothing, no disconnection. Does it mean that really couples can't be okay, even when they are way far apart? And the answer is no, they need to be okay. Just the difference is physically they're not there more often. This comes with effective communication. This comes, again, we go back to what we talked about. Are you feeling secure? Have you discussed about even going out or being in different towns before? Someone has asked about the reason why people get into marriage. yes, it's very true that premarital is something that people have really taken for granted. Just because I'm out there and I feel of that right page of getting married, and there is this handsome man, beautiful lady, now we are okay and we go on. But do people sit down to define the goals for this marriage, to get to know why indeed do I need to be married to this person? Because it's from there that you get to know. Some people, they are marrying having unprocessed issues. I'm getting married because I never grew up with a dad, and so I'm looking unconsciously for that father figure in my man. We know very well there is up to the limits that you can be with your dad, you know, and so that's why later on, like 3, 4, 5 years, because to you this is your dad, this is your mom, and so you are limited. I mean, it can just be all lovey-dovey throughout. So there is up to the point that you cannot sustain this anymore, because there is what you can't do with your mom, what you can do with your dad. So are you there because you want to heal in your marriage? And that's what we keep on saying. First, you need to fix your person. You need to fix yourself as a person. You've talked about hurt people do hurt people. If you move into this marriage without even dealing with your past issues, and past issues may just be your last breakup, how was it dealt with? Most of the time people will meet and the question will be, so when were you last dating and all that? And it was just a question and you move on. But did you get time to ask, how did you deal even with the heartbreak? Am I with you because you're the next person that have seen in? And about the question of at what point is it when they are newly married, when they progress, is that we do not have any definite time that now during this time they can go out there and cheat.
All right. So Enoch, we have Enoch on the line. Enoch, unaweza zungumza sasa, tupatie hadithi ama swali lako ukiendelea tu kuongea. Tunasikiza.
Sasa amepata kazi nzuri sana Kisumu. Nilikuwa Kisumu sasa, nilipata kuna mabadiliko vile nilikuja kumtembelea. Hataki kuniongelesha kitu kama I don't know what's come over that. Hata hiyo ndio swali nilikuwa nazo, unaweza nisaidia aje?
Sorry, Enoch, siku kupata swali lako ni gani? Tena rudia.
Nilikuwa nauliza. Nilikuwa na msichana. We are in 2 years in marriage.
2 years or?
We are in 2 years in marriage.
Oh, 2 years in marriage,
Asa all of a sudden alipata kazi Ngori, but I was doing job at Kisumu. Bila nilikuja kumtembelea. Alikuwa amechange tu, sasa hataki kuniongelesha kitu kama hiyo, ni kama amepata mtu mwingine. So unaweza nisaidia aje hapo?
All right. So he was working or is working in Kisumu. He went to Migori. He's been married for 2 years, and he says she changed. She's not speaking to him. So he suspects there's somebody else in the picture. What advice do you have for him, Morris?
Yeah. For what I would say for Enoch is that he needs to escalate the conversation with, his wife or the girlfriend for that matter. He doesn't.
Kama unaweza mjibu kwa Kiswahili.
Okay.
Ndio kupate vizuri.
So, acha nijaribu Kiswahili.
Jaribu Morris, unaweza na kuamini.
So Enoch, vile naweza kuambia ni ya kwamba ujaribu kuwa na mazungumzo na mkeo, usifanye tu kukisia kana kwamba anadanganya au hadanganyi. Ni vizuri wakae chini, ye mwenyewe amwambie kuna mambo ninaona hapa, siku hizi hatuongei, siku hizi tulikuwa unanipigia tunaongea kwa simu, unajua tunakuwa na fani pamoja, siku hizi naona iko chini sana, na nasikia ni kama tena ule uhusiano tulikuwa nao pale mwanzoni unaisha. Ni nini hii ambayo imefanya tukafika hapa? So aanze kuuliza hivyo, asifanye kana kwamba anamuashiria kwamba anafanya kile kitendo cha kwenda nje. Akifanya hivyo sasa yule mwenzake atafunga na hataongea. So aianze polepole, we call it gentle startup. Amuulize, kuna vile siku hizi ningependa kuwa karibu na wewe, na nasikia kweli ninakukosa, na ninapenda sana saa ile tuko pamoja, lakini siku hizi nasikia kwamba hatuko pamoja, hatuzungumzi, na nasikia ninatamani yale mapenzi tulikuwa nayo. Haendi kusema siku hizi uniongeleshi, wewe uko mbali, ni kama uko na mtu mwingine. Ukianza hivyo sasa ni vita. kwanza lazima uwe na njia. We normally say it is the how, it is not the what. You need to learn the way of the how. So amuende pole pole, amuulize, alafu aseme yale yeye anapenda na vile yeye huwa anamfanya asikie. Hivyo sasa wataanza kuongea. Ndio maana tunaongea juu ya communication. Sasa wakianza kuongea hivi ndio tasema, unajua wewe unipigiagi simu, mimi nakuaga huku Migori peke yangu, wewe uko kazi na sasa mimi nakukosa. Hivyo wakienda sasa hapo anaweza sema na kuna siku niliteleza. Sasa waongee hivyo sasa.
Yeah. All right. Triza. Yes. There are those who say monogamy is unnatural. And men have needs. You know, men are usually the majority are accused of infidelity. So this is more biological than intentional hurt. What do you say to that?
That's just trying to normalize abnormality, to validate and to justify maladaptive behaviors. You know, that I can go there out and cheat because I'm a man, so it's okay. And you know, we are also, as a society, I think we've allowed it to happen for so long, where they'll even talk about it rains everywhere. As long as he will go out, he will come back to the house, she will go out, she will come back. You know, even there is the song, I don't know, Nairobi, Anayakupea, Ananipe, you know, such.
The Sauti Sol one? I think so, yes.
Yes, so like we've tried to normalize something that should not be the case, because the question is, was that part of the agreement when both of you came together, that it's okay because biologically you are man? You know, those are just mere justifications, you know. And some people, when you go like now for Christian, they'll tell you, oh, even Abraham had many wives and all that. And the question is, how comes we nowadays go to church, we are no longer in our shukas and all that? I mean, we are in a very different era. So that being a man is not a cause for infidelity. Let's not normalize that. But we have other triggers. And nowadays, Olive, it's not just for men. In fact, women are even cheating more because of the women empowerment, and what a man can do, can even do better. And one thing we tell people, do not be vengeful in your marriage, because have realized you are cheating and now it's my turn. Two wrongs can never make a right. Can you just go back? And now you say you are processing. It's what we are talking about now. The hope that is there is the understanding that yes, this has happened. However, given where we are, it's not continuation, not business as usual. And we tell people, do not be very fast in expecting forgiveness. Comes with time. There is loss. Allow the other person to go through the loss, the betrayal, and you know, even the guilty trip, the blame. Maybe it's because of my busy work. I've seen people even resigning their place of work, and because they've been made believe it's because I'm so busy, that's why he's going out there to cheat. It's because I do not have time to be with him, to go and cook. And says who that you are married to go and cook for him? Says who? Because you both need to be there and agree. And by the way, with this, I'm not just attacking one gender, because it's both ways. So it's all about who are you? Effective communication. I like how Maud Fixen has said it so well. Talk about how you feel, not what you're thinking. I feel, since now I'm in Kisumu, you are in Migori, I'm not feeling the way I used to feel. I feel there is a disconnect. Not to attack, because the moment you attacked, you go into defense. And you might realize, maybe for the gentleman, it's something he did the last time they were in Kisumu. I'm just in assumption, yeah? Something he did. Maybe he took the entire bread or just something, and the lady is still mad at that, and she's still processing. You see? The moment there is no effective communication, we leave a gap, and this void can be filled with just anything, because equally he can say, you're not talking to me, so maybe you are cheating, let me also go out there and cheat. That's not the case. But what we say, Olive, is in this marriage institution, there is not any enough reason as to why your partner goes out there to cheat. You can never be the cause. They talk about women making noise in the house, men, they are being, you know, violent in the house, they're not bringing in money, so you also go so that you can get someone who can. Are you saying it's a gap that you want to go out there and fill? But that's a maladaptive behavior. It means it's a wrong coping mechanism. The right coping mechanism, just go and share how you feel. However, in a scenario where someone has gone out there, they've cheated, in a way, either they've been caught, they've come and confessed, because we say both people, they get to feel the pain. The one who is cheating, they also go through some guilty trip, and some people, most of the time, they'll go and tell on themselves to their partners. So when this person is betrayed and hurting and mistrust is there and all that, this other person is also feeling the guilt. So it's the ability, both of you, what do you want? Do you want to work on this? We talk about no continuation is a journey of rebuilding. Do you want to start all over again and now you rebuild to this new? So we can only talk of hope when both have agreed to rebuild. And you know, when you're rebuilding means you do away with all the foundation na kila kitu. Like for therapy, there is something we talk about having a third chair. You are here, you're the man, you're the woman, a third chair is the marriage. At time we even separate people. Can we just deal with you? Because maybe one person is bleeding, what we've talked about, the family of origin, and you've seen these things happening where you can only associate. You know, even the brother was like that, even the dad was, it's the family, it's the village, you know, all those things. But by the time we are calling, it's the village, it's the family, we are just minimizing. You now stop. Another thing, they are being bewitched. You know, it's like the women or the men out there, they've bewitched, and you will find the other partner is busy even fasting because they believe they are bewitched. That causes what we call minimization. You don't see this as a wrong behavior because you have something else to blame on. So it's about calling out, this is the cheating that is affecting this marriage. However, marriage is built by two people, you and this other person. Can we talk and we fix you? We also fix this other person so that together you can form a good marriage institution.
All right. So whether it's financial cheating or object infidelity or cyber sex infidelity, there are those who take the view that a man cheating is different from a woman cheating. That for a man, it is scratching an itch. It means nothing. For a woman, it is worse because it involves emotions. Your response to that, Maury Fixton?
You know, when you come to matters of infidelity, for objectively being able to examine it, is take two genders out and look at what is damaged. So the boss between the husband and wife is not the husband nor the wife, it's the relationship. Yeah. So when you see the relationship, what is calling the third chair, then everybody feel the same. When a woman goes out, when a man goes out, the feeling is the same because what you are hurting is the relationship. And relationship is a living organ. You know, it lives, it dies, it thrives, it can be injured, it can be regenerated. And that's why when you're asking if there is hope, yes, there is hope. There is a lady called Esther Perel says, because she had worked with a number of people with infidelity, she said that she has seen couples remarry their same partner 3 times. She says, I'm sorry, I didn't get up to be the kind of the husband you wanted me to be. Will you mind marrying me again? So they are kind of giving each other an opportunity to work on the relationship, not on the person, because every person have defects. Every person have their dark side. It's only that sometimes it is the dark side of yours that have come first. And that's why you should not be very fast to point a finger to the other one. We usually say when you see a mad person, you say, there goes I, by the grace of God I am. So every time something happens, before casting suspicion on the other one, before going and attacking, why don't you pause and ask, how did we get here? How did we arrive here? What did we miss? Very objectively, when you do that, you are going to start finding solutions. And it can even re-engineer your relationship to the better side. Because you may find, there's a question that was asked, why do people get married? You get married to meet each other's need, and even as you meet your own needs. So if these needs are not met, we are human beings. Things happen. But when they happen, it is not now you are licensed to go out or to stay. It is a time of taking stock and being calm and asking yourself, how did we get here?
All right.
Well, when you ask that that question, it is very important. And just to tie that one with something else, this is on another perspective. We have the philosophy of pleasure. Psychology says we are living in the era of dopamine. This generation is of a dopamine generation because we have three components of love: passion, intimacy, and commitment. And sometimes passion can go down. Sometimes intimacy can go down. And you are left with commitment. And then you start having yin and yang and all those things. But you can always regenerate yourself. So to me, what I'm saying, there is hope after infidelity. But don't point a finger to the other one. You know, be calm and ask yourself questions that are very objective, not attacking one. And therein, you can find you regenerate your marriage and your relationship.
All right.
Yes.
Your last word, Teresa?
Yes.
Your last word?
Yes.
On this subject, yes.
Okay. Is to say there is hope when it comes to infidelity. And hope comes with being authentic self and being ready to work for this and ensuring that it doesn't happen again. Also, we ask for patience. Healing is a process. It's not a one-day event. It may take just one day, one night to cheat, but it can take years for the other partner to heal. So many other times they'll keep on reminding you, they'll keep on revisiting. Get to know they also have emotions that they're processing. Allow them time if you really want to work on it. And lastly, come up with accountability plan. Most of the families don't have accountability plan because they feel letting you know where I am, you are bossing me around, or asking me where, you know, have you been? You really want to know so much about me. No, be accountable to each other. Being accountable is a sign of commitment. Set rules even during this time that you really need to be patient with each other as you heal. And yes, there is hope, not unless there is more damage, more abuse, and where death is also a possibility. And during that time, recommendation is you can still separate because there is still hope of having life even way after infidelity.
All right, thank you for helping us navigate these waters. I want to thank Teresa Kainika. She is not only a psychologist, she's a CEO, All Smiles Therapy Center, and Maury Fixton. I finally got it. And Drew, who is a psychologist. Thank you, not only for watching, but also for contributing. Your experience makes a huge difference. That's it for Your World. My name is Olive Burrows. Good morning.